For our last foundational principle of graphic design, we will discuss the doctrine of coincide or contrast. The doctrine of coincide or contrast is a principle with so many applications in graphic design. So what does it mean? Simply put, it is preferable to have different elements either coincide or contrast. It is surprising how often this golden rule of design will answer a wide range of questions: choice of typography, layout, image style, and color. We will only look at typography and layout here. Type size. One of the easiest things to grasp is that sizes of type should either remain the same or be different enough to notice. In our first example, the heading is 32 points, while the body is 30 points. Not enough difference to really notice. In the second example, with a heading of 36 points, there is enough difference from the 30-point body text to at least notice readily. Our third sample shows the modern preference to use a noticeable difference in type weight to differentiate headings, such as this bold heading with the light body text. The single differentiator of weight is cleaner, but sufficient, without the need for a size shift as well. Font choices. One of the easiest applications of coincide or contrast is in this part of typography. It is very difficult to successfully use two different sans serif fonts together. There is not enough difference to provide meaningful contrast, but too much difference to coincide. It is also different to use two different serif fonts together. There is not enough difference to provide meaningful contrast, but too much difference to coincide. The same idea applies to large font families that contain condensed and extended variants. For instance, Helvetica Condensed or Helvetica Extended should be considered different fonts from Helvetica because they are different font designs. The fundamental shapes of the letter forms have been changed. They can no longer coincide, nor do they differ enough to contrast. Therefore, they are problematic when used together. On the other hand, variations like bold, light, and ultralight only differ in weight and may be used together with judgment. Italics are fine for emphasis. That is the reason italics were created in the first place. One alternative is to use a combination of one serif font with one sans serif font. Then there is enough contrast. Also, one single font can work very well with only weight and size to distinguish headlines, subheads, and text. Captions are usually offset from the body text with size and/or weight variations to differentiate it. Perhaps an example from a totally different realm might illustrate. In music, a B and an F together sound good. The same goes for a B and an E. And a B and a D. But a B and a C sound dissonant. They don't sound good together. They don't contrast enough. There must be an interval between them, enough to make a good contrast. Coincide or contrast in a layout. Positioning elements is another way to apply the coincide or contrast principle. Unless there is a specific reason for doing otherwise, aligning your elements will place the focus on the content and not the arrangement, which is as it should be. Remember, the purpose of graphic design is to aid communication, not draw undue attention to itself. If elements are only slightly misaligned, it just looks like a mistake. The principle of coincide or contrast is simple, but it is profound in its importance for a truly memorable design, the kind of long-lived design that corporate identity should aspire to be. This is the last of the foundational principles of graphic design that we'll discuss. Next, we will talk about branding fundamentals. For more information, go to logodesigntheory.com. If you found this useful, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and share it with anyone who needs to know about branding design.